Alrighty, guys, let's talk about one of the upcoming MCU movies that we know is coming. It's been pretty much in the air. It's been up there for a while. Black Panther 3. Black Panther has been one of the most successful franchises that Marvel's ever done. It doesn't matter if you don't like Wakanda Forever. We're talking about successful in terms of box office. The first film obviously made tons of money, well over $1 billion. And the second movie, I believe, made $800 to $900 million. So very, very successful. And that's despite the fact that, yes, tragically, Chadwick Boseman passed away before the second film. And the second film was really led by Letitia Wright as Shuri, and of course the other characters like Namor and Queen Ramonda, Okoye, Lupita Nyong'o. So a lot of extenuating circumstances that made it the case. But we've also known that Black Panther 3 is on the way. Now, who knows what state the MCU is going to be after Secret Wars? I mean, we're all assuming some kind of reset. Whether or not that means, because there have been a lot of rumors swirling around Damson Idris as Black Panther. Whether or not this has any weight at all, I have no idea. But there have been a lot of rumors about Damson Idris as potentially a Black Panther. So we'll have to see about that. But maybe he appears as a different version of T'Challa. I've always said, by the way, if you've been on the channel for a while, you'll have heard this segment or heard this spiel already. But I said, at the time, I probably would have recast T'Challa. This is 2020, 2021, post T'Challa's death, or to post Chadwick Boseman's death. And obviously, just again, it was a tragic thing as a human being. But as we had time to kind of digest it and really think about it and look at its implications for the MCU, I was of the mind that, I think it would be okay to recast him. But then when Kevin Feige and Ryan Coogler said, no, we're not going to recast him, I said, okay, I trust you guys. You guys seem like you have his best intentions in mind. Let's see what you got. And I love Wakanda Forever because I think Wakanda Forever is truly an encapsulation of grieving the loss of a human being in T'Challa. I really do. I think it's beautiful. That being said, it doesn't preclude now my opinion saying, okay, now that we've gotten that Wakanda Forever, I think it's fine to recast him. I think it's also fine to keep Shuri as Black Panther. I don't really have a preference. Shuri is going to be the Black Panther, it looks like, in Avengers Doomsday. And so that's either way they do it, it's totally fine. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. What we do know, though, at this point, because Ryan Coogler's been talking about it, and I think other people like Nate Moore and Kevin Feige have been talking about Black Panther 3 in development. What we do know now, thanks to some comments from Ryan Coogler himself, I think he was at some sort of conference or festival talking about Sinners, which is probably going to get some Oscar nomination and Oscar attention. But what he said was this, quote, "If it was anybody but you, I would say I can neither confirm nor deny," teased Coogler, "but we're working on it hard. It being Black Panther 3. Yeah, it's the next movie." So Ryan Coogler has confirmed that Black Panther 3 is going to be the next movie he's working on, which means that if they're working on it hard now, well, that opens the door for a whole lot of things to happen, because that means the film could very easily release at any point, in the next couple years. Because let's look at this calendar here. The MCU calendar is wide open right now. In 2026, there are going to be 2 films only, so far at least. July 31st, 2026, Spider-Man Brand New Day. Big movie. December 18th, 2026, Avengers Doomsday. Huge movie. And then as of right now, and it's actually kind of weird, it's been hard to get some sources where it has the most up-to-date Marvel release dates, but as far as I'm seeing right now, 2027 is clear of MCU releases other than Avengers Secret Wars. So all eyes, all attention, everything is going to be on Avengers Secret Wars in December 2027. That's December 17th, 2027. But then 2028, after this saga ends, we are going to be revamping and just full go, because 4 MCU movies are going to be released. We have February 18th, 2028, May 5th, 2028, November 10th, 2028, December 15th, 2028. So lots and lots of different options here. I'm going to throw out some guesses as to what I think, because, the interesting thing about this, right, is that there are way more than 4 MCU movies that are supposedly in production. And that's not even, not even including films that we just don't know about. But I'm just to count off movies on a list here. X-Men, we know that's coming. Black Panther 3, we know that's coming. Shang-Chi 2 allegedly is coming. The Shang-Chi 2 better be one of those 2028 slots. It has to be, right? It has to be. Anyways, Shang-Chi 2. Doctor Strange 3 is also on that list. Guardians, I don't know. But there's going to be probably another mutant film, another Deadpool film. So there are a lot. Oh, Blade. I also forgot about Blade. Blade is probably coming in 2028. So there are a lot of options here. Looking at this list here, this is what I myself might assume is the 2028 slate, because again, there are more movies that I think, than fit these slots, and some of them are going to have to wait till 2029. These are the 4 that I would predict are coming out in 2028. February 18th, 2028, I would have to imagine is Shang-Chi 2. I think that if Destin Daniel Cretton is coming back, then he could come back and take on that, after Spider-Man Brand New Day. Maybe he's done. Maybe he's exhausted. But at any rate, another director could come in. We need a Shang-Chi 2. Maybe this is wishful thinking. Maybe Shang-Chi 2 is just never going to happen. But I just really hope that the first priority that Marvel has after Avengers Secret Wars is a Shang-Chi 2, because it's just been too long and they need to capitalize on it. They need to capitalize it. So my hope and maybe prediction would be February 18th, 2028 is Shang-Chi 2. May 5th, 2028, I do think is X-Men. I think that they want to put that marquee movie that they have, the X-Men, reintroducing the X-Men. I do think that Jake Schreier's X-Men is going to come out on May 5th, 2028, which I think leaves November 10th, 2028 pretty comfortably as Black Panther 3. Although you could convince me that November 10th is Blade, because, that's a little closer to Halloween. So maybe I'll say that actually November 10th, 2028 is going to be Blade, if that ever comes out. But if not, then I think that it will be Black Panther 3. And then December 15th, I think, flip-flop Blade and Black Panther 3. But if Blade is just not going to happen, then one of those could be Doctor Strange 3 for sure. So that's sort of my guess as to what's going on here. But again, anything can change. The point being that Black Panther 3 is probably going to take up a slot in 2028, which means we kind of know when the next movie is going to come out. And to be fair, right, Black Panther 3 coming out in 2028 is a long way away from where Black Panther Wakanda Forever was, which came out in 2022 in November. So it would be 6 years post Wakanda Forever, which the first Black Panther came out in 2018. So it was already, it was about 5 years since the first Black Panther, but still, from the first Black Panther in 2018 to the next one, probably going to be 10 years, which is crazy. So we'll have to see about that. But guys, anyways, Black Panther 3 is coming. Ryan Coogler is working on it, and it should be one of the first MCU movies out the gate in 2028. Guys, what do you think about any of this? Let me know in the comments down below.